Fruits.
That's a cool tree. Look at that. Sick tree content. Hey team, for the 3 weeks that we're here in Australia, we've just picked up our white Corolla. I think I did pretty well there. I'm gonna take that. Look at that mountain. The mountain is back. Yes. Are you struggling, Royce?
Was that?
Round 3.
Battling. I thought I might have a break. Craig will get me here.
I managed to add the skied back in. My dampener's on 1. I can't like do big strokes. I have to keep a kind of short motion. It feels good to be doing it.
Your handstand damper's on 1 as well.
Yeah.
Mine's on 10.
When speaking to all the physios that I've been with, they said just add in stuff when you feel like you can, and I am right now. Just don't be stupid. And continue doing your core exercises. It's like being in school, but you just have to do it, you know? And I am. I just don't show every day because there's no point. You guys will be bored. Coming off a ski into a pull-ups is no joke. All about that transition time.
Well, no, I should probably move this to the far side of the gym. Give my handstand the rest they deserve. Oh.
It honestly looks like I'm not even trying. There's 2 spots. Jazz has a few spots.
Yeah.
You can. Just squeeze it round.
Those 2 spots were planted too. I saw Craig getting his water bottle out.
Cool little apartment. This is a cool little apartment. I like it. That was a random noise. Before we get into the news team this morning, Jazz and I set the alarm for 7:30 a.m. We got out of bed at 1 p.m. We then went and hit that workout with Royce. Good to see Royce again. Strongest man in CrossFit. It's good to be back in Torium. It's the gym that has the mural of Tia. Pretty cool. Anyway, before we get into this news, just a couple of cool little things that I've seen on the internet this week and that Jazz showed me this first clip. How cute is this? Secondly, whilst we were in Hong Kong, we tried green tea ice cream. Personally, I like green tea, didn't like the ice cream. Jazz? WOD memes for jacked up teens broke the secretive news about a Christmas gift that you maybe want to get for your partner. Shane Orr presented the Tia Claire Toomey action figure just in time for Christmas over these last couple of days. Do get your hands on them. Apparently, it's the fittest action figure on earth. To that, I say screw you, Action Man. Now that week 3 is over, there's 2 types of people.
Sir, wait. Very good. 30. Good green.
I'll take it if I have to. Oh. What are you doing to me? But anyway, let's jump into the actual CrossFit news. Throughout the CrossFit Open and the beginning of the first workout, the top 40 women and the top 40 men on the overall worldwide CrossFit Games leaderboard each week will require to submit videos for review. After review, the following athletes in the top 40 have received penalties for the Open Workout 20.1. So this week we've actually had the news that there's been some big penalties handed out to some of the top athletes after their 20.1 video submissions have been reviewed. 7 athletes out of the top 40 got issued a major penalty. And then out of the top 40 athletes, another 19 athletes received a penalty for a false start, a smaller penalty. A lot of the athletes that actually got the major penalty have responded. Sam Briggs said that she takes full responsibility for CrossFit's penalty. It was on me to ensure that the standards were clearly met. This ultimately means me qualifying through the Open this year is impossible, but I'll put myself through the remaining 3 workouts along with you guys. This just means I'll be bringing the fire to the sanctioned events where I'll be fighting for my ticket for the games. Last year, Sam Briggs won 2 sanctioned events. She will be at the Filthy 150 in Ireland, the first sanctioned event of the season, which happens in a couple of weeks. Get ready for that. Also, we had a response from Frederick Gideus. He said, don't fly too close to the sun. As athletes in competitive settings, we always strive to do the required work as fast as we can. In order to do so, you move as close as you can to the line, and unfortunately I ended up overstepping it. I did not meet the standard on 20.1, and that's 100% my own fault. I'll do my best to show to myself that this was just an outlier, and I will use the last 3 weeks of the Open to build momentum into the sanctional season. The athletes that receive these major penalties, basically it means that they can't qualify through the Open. The time that was added onto their score means that they'll place too low in that first workout, and ultimately, even if they won every other workout after that, they still wouldn't be able to qualify for the games. Cedric Leponte, who was in 11th after 2 weeks of workouts, dropped to 331st after this video review. He received a major penalty due to lack of extension on the snatches, but you can make your own mind up with this. Personally, I think it's a very fine line. I don't see them as no reps. The hips are a little bit muted, but take a look and see what you think. And then we had a response also from Dane Smith. He said 230 was added to my 20.1 score this morning for a one-footed takeoff on my burpees, which takes any chance of me qualifying through the Open away. I wasn't trying to get away with anything. I posted my video of the burpees last week because I was proud of my score. Those are the way that I've been doing the burpees for 6 years now, through regionals, team series, past Opens, so it came as a surprise to me. I don't want to make excuses for myself because at the end of the day, it's my fault for not adhering to the standards CrossFit had in mind. I assumed having both feet propel myself over the bar was enough for a 2-footed takeoff. I assume wrong. You live and you learn, greater things are to come. My opinion on all of this. You guys have been asking about it, and honestly, I think it's a huge grey area. If you do CrossFit, as you know, as you ramp up the intensity, the movement does break down a little bit. Like, that's just how it is. Also, you move a little bit differently, and it comes down to a fine line. The good thing that comes out of this is obviously CrossFit are now looking at more videos. They're adhering to the standards now, and not just saying that this person has the capacity to do the work like we've seen before in 18.4 with Brooke Wells. They are dishing out penalties to some big name athletes. However, according to Cedric Leponte, he's tried to send 3 emails to CrossFit. They haven't responded. He's tried to make an appeal, and they want nothing to do with it. That probably needs to change, but also what I think needs to change, or what I think we need, is stricter standards. As Dane Smith said in his post, he's been doing burpees like that for, well, since he started doing CrossFit. The step in, jump over the bar. We've seen over the last kind of 5 years the standard of the burpee change. It was a step-in burpee that was allowed, and then we had a couple of years where you had to jump in 2 feet, and then recently CrossFit have allowed the step-in burpee again. The only problem is with the step-in burpee is when you bring that front foot forwards and then you go to jump, you are going to have a tiny bit of mistiming. Your back foot's going to leave the floor first before your front foot. It's just the way of propulsion. And also, if you want to have that 2-footed landing, that back foot is going to have to do some catching up and maybe do a bit of a crossover of the front foot, so it can kind of look like you just did a 1-footed jump. Whereas in reality, the feet marginally left the floor at the same time. If you watch the past games, if you watch the past regionals, if you watch a lot of competitions, all of the top level athletes, I would guarantee at least 30 out of these 40 top athletes would have done a step-in burpee because it's quicker and more efficient. We've probably seen worse standards at the CrossFit Games being judged by people and being accepted. And we've probably seen a couple of the video submissions of a step-in be accepted. It just may depend on who judges the video, how much you emphasize that first foot coming off the ground first. It's just a rough one for athletes, I think, and especially the top ones who have been doing it for a long while. You know, now a lot of them will be looking at their movement standards saying, am I actually doing it correctly? I've been doing it like this for a long while. Will I get away with it in competition? Will we see stricter judging standards at the CrossFit Games? And then just speaking on the video submission, they look at the top 40 athletes now, which is great each week. However, if you actually look at it, that's not many people. And out of the national champs that went to the CrossFit Games this year, over 100 of them were not in the top 40. So if CrossFit are really only judging the top 40 video submissions, a lot of the athletes could have been doing a step-in burpee with a jump that wouldn't have been acceptable for CrossFit, but they won't look at the video necessarily. I know they take all national champion videos in, but it doesn't mean that they're going to assess every single one of them. It is a fine line. And I mean, we know Sam Briggs has the capacity. We know Dane Smith has the capacity. He's gone to multiple regionals. We know Frederica Gideus has the capacity in those workouts. I mean, maybe CrossFit should say you've been penalized massively. You have 24 hours to redo the workout, submit a new video and a new score. especially in kind of this first year, quote unquote, of them checking the videos to a more thorough, higher standard. Because as we said earlier in the video, those athletes that now have been penalised majorly will not have a shot at going to the CrossFit Games through the Open this year and will have to go on to do sanctioned events, which is for doing a movement the way that they've always done the movement. Still fine, because I mean, there are a lot of sanctioned events this year, but qualifying through the Open this early in the season gives a lot of the athletes a good off-season, especially as this Open has just come after the Games, whereas now they may have to pick some sanctioned events that they're going to go to and continue their season to a kind of different schedule. The morning chalk up actually gave us a good updated leaderboard after the penalties had been given out, and it looked like this after 2 weeks. What it comes down to also is just the video submissions themselves. Before in CrossFit, obviously the athletes may have got away with this. As we know, not as many people would have been reviewed, but then if they got through this process of the Open, they would have gone to regionals where they would have had kind of like a uniformed setup where all the bars would have been in the same position, they would have had judges. There would have been no way to cheat reps, where there's kind of less variables and more consistency. Whereas with this video submission, you can kind of look at it as the way that maybe just the angle that it's been filmed at makes the foot move, look like it's moving more than it is. Maybe the environment around it, the lighting. But that's my kind of rant with video submissions and qualifying through the Open to the CrossFit Games through submitting videos. From one angle, it looks like someone may not be hitting depth. From another, it may be that they're hitting depth. With Cedric Laponte, it might be, if you looked at him from the side, his hips aren't actually muted, and it's just the way that his tights are and the bar is overhead. So then you're leaving it up to someone's opinion of a video to then take away your score. And for some of these people, like Cedric, he said it's his job and he's devoted 2 years to it, doesn't have the money to really travel around and do all of the sanctioned events. For some of these guys, it's their job and career that's being judged by someone on a video that isn't the best quality from an angle that may not be the best. But also some people that clearly cheat, it's good that CrossFit are cracking down on it and really giving out penalties and not just letting it fly. It's just, the line is there, pushing the pace is here. Some people will get away with it, some people won't. Whoa. Jazz says she's swimming if I want to come say hi. Hold on a second. Team, you're in for a treat. Look at that athleticism. That's lap 4,000 for Jazz. Can you believe it? However, tomorrow we are going to talk about 20.3, the leaderboard and the scores, and how some people have gone so freaking fast. And also how most people's backs during the workout did this.
Well. See ya.
And then most people after the workout, central nervous system meant that stairs went kind of like this. But anyway, team, I know we only covered one topic on today's vlog, really, but I hope you did enjoy it. And give me your opinion down below on what you think about, especially the burpee standard. Should it be changed? Should we go back to the 2-footed jump, but then is it all inclusive? Jazz finished 7,000 laps today in the pool, which is incredible. She, top 20 next year in the Open, don't you worry about it. She does her burpees on all fours. She will jump into her hands and feet, and all 4 feet will take off at the same time.
Kind of like a pony.
Yes. And as for Brisbane, yeah, it's like 20 odd degrees mostly in the day. It's quite beautiful. Royce is a machine, and he's kicking my ass already in workouts. So smash that like button, team. As always, we'll get another vlog out for you tomorrow, hopefully. We will, because we don't quit. And we'll catch you in the next one. Are you tired?
I am, yeah.
It's because you've been running through my mind all day.